Good morning. Thanks for joining me. If you have blocks, I want you to use your blocks today to start an assisted hero. It's another way to just kind of wake up the legs, wake up the body, and we use them obviously throughout the entire practice. So here's one way to do your assisted hero, Virasana, and I'll turn sideways for a second so you can see. One of it is to just sit on your heels. Another way to do this is if you don't want to place the blocks between your legs, you can take a block between your calves. It doesn't feel so great though. So if you have a towel or something you want to roll up and you can sit on, you're more than welcome to do that. Otherwise, 1 or 2 blocks. I recommend 2. You're going to pop your feet open the width of the block and place the blocks between your heels, and then you'll drop back onto the block and just stack your shoulders over your hips. And you can rest your hands on your thighs however you want, or you can place them in your lap in another mudra with your thumbs gently touching, and then close your eyes. If none of this works for you and it is very painful to sit this way, then I want you to find your own easy seated pose, whatever that pose is for you. So take a few moments to sit here. I'm going to turn myself to face the camera. And just start to feel yourself settle into this space. I keep my blocks horizontal, so my sit bones will end up on the blocks. Some of you have been taught to take your blocks vertical, and you may feel your bottom rounding over the blocks. It's fine. Whatever feels comfortable for you, it is not about me. I just want you to relax here. Feel yourself grow tall. Your belly draws in, your chest lifts to the sky. And with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine a ball of light at the bottom of your tailbone. And then choose a color for that light. And just focus on that light for a moment, hanging out in your tailbone. And then notice how your knees, your ankles, your body starting to connect to the mat, to connect to the blocks. Notice the breath moving through the nose. How are you feeling today, both physically and emotionally? And recognize what you may need to do throughout the practice in order to keep yourself in this place of ease, whether it's physically in a pose or it's an emotional reaction to things. It's okay. Yoga helps unstick that emotional gunk that we get trapped in our bodies. So let this be a way for you to release emotions that may feel trapped as well. So as we sit nice and tall in this ball of light, whatever color you've chosen, we now are going to take the breath deeper. And as you inhale, I want you to imagine that ball of light traveling up your spine to the top of your head. And when you exhale, imagine that ball of light traveling back down your spine through your tailbone. And then just continue this movement like an elevator. Notice, does your belly and chest expand? On the inhale. And then when you exhale, can you feel your belly tightening in order to press all the air out of the body? Inhale, feel that ball of light travel up the body, sending positive energy to the body. And then when you exhale, imagine that ball of light is releasing any tension or stress that is being carried in any part of the body. Continue with this visualization for 3 more deep breaths. Think of that ball of light glowing outward into every cell of the body, replacing stress and tension with ease and relaxation. One more deep breath. Take your inhale and circle the arms up to the sky. On your exhale, bring them down through the midline. 2 more times like this. Inhale, circle to rise. Gather all that positive energy. Exhale, push it down through the body, releasing what you don't need. 1 more time. Bring the hands to rest at the heart, and I invite you to release your chin to your chest. So as we take this light release, we can gaze to our fingertips or keep the eyes closed. We are on a journey. In this journey, I want you to become that student of your body. What does your body need today? Allow yourself to let go of judgments and expectations and be in this moment. The quote I chose this month for our theme is by Les Brown. We tell our things that when it gets hard or it feels hard, I am going to make it. We will make it through anything that we are challenged with. And when we need to lean on others, it's important. Use props, use people. It is okay to allow others to give us support. In our practice, it is okay to use props to give ourselves support. Let's take that sound of Om. Inhale nice and deep. Om. Some of you may connect with that vibration of Om, and others may feel silly doing it. And it is okay. You don't have to take the sound of Om. It's just something we're playing around with today. Go ahead and gently raise the gaze and blink the eyes open. And from here, I want you to inhale, rise up to the sun. And exhale, come back down onto those blocks. If you're in easy seated, just sweep your arms up. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time, but I want you to rise up and hold. As you take a hold, squeeze your heels into the block, grab the right wrist, and stretch over to the left. Use the blocks to help anchor yourself. Inhale, rise up. Take the left wrist and exhale, stretch to the right. Be careful of rounding forward. Push your hips forward. Lift up and over that right hip. Inhale, center. Let's take it over to the left. Exhale, stretch. Pull that right arm like it can grow longer than the left. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, over to the right. Inhale to rise. Exhale to release those arms. If you're comfortable, stay up high on those knees. If not, adjust. But I do want you to take the blocks out from behind you and place one on the outside of your right knee. And go ahead and come into this gate stretch. So we have our hips pushing forward. Be aligned with your hip to ankle. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, stretch over to that left leg. Be careful of sitting back. Push your hips forward. Inhale, rise up and stretch over to the right. So I put the block here as an assist. If you don't need it, just move it out of the way. Use those cores. Inhale, lift. Exhale, stretch. Be careful of sitting back. Keep those hips pushing forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, over to the right. We're going to add on to this. Inhale up, stretch. Inhale up, stretch to the right. Now lift that left leg, hold here. Let's do a little abdominal work. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Good. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Hold the leg out. Bring that left arm down. Now walk yourself around into table with this half spinal balance. Push through that left heel and make sure your heel is hip height or lower. Then extend the right arm out. Look forward of the left fingertips. I don't want you looking to your right knee. From here, what I want you to do is drop the left foot over to outside the right and then pull your left hip forward. Then slowly follow these fingers up to the sun and circle around. Follow it up. You don't have to circle the arm. You can even bend the elbow if it's a lot on the shoulder and circle around. One more time. Lift up and circle around. I want you to lift the arm up to the sky, not a circle, and hold. 5. Squeeze your inner thighs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hand down. As you send your left knee under your hip, take your right foot out to the side. And again, if you're using the block, take the block outside the left knee, and then inhale, rise up for gate stretch. If you want your heel to the sky, your toes on an angle, or aiming straight ahead, it is up to you. Inhale, reach up. Grow tall. Exhale, stretch over, gate stretch. Inhale, rise up. Exhale onto that block. And stretch over. Use your core. Inhale, pull up. Exhale into side stretch or gate stretch. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, stretch into that kneeling side plank. Inhale, up. Gate stretch. Inhale, up. Side plank with the leg lift and hold. Now let's do that core work. Exhale, pull in and extend out. Pull in, go out. 3 more times. In and out. Breath with movement and hold. Do a little twist here and let your arm come down. Then start to walk the hands into half spinal balance. Once you're there, make sure this hip isn't open. You're turning your right hip down to the mat, hands under shoulders. Then extend into spinal balance and hold here. Finding that power, slowly bring the right leg across, but your hip might want to open because you took your foot too far. So pull your right hip forward, squeeze those inner thighs. You may be wiggling and wobbling. If you need your hand on the mat, take your hand to the mat. Otherwise, circle up. Follow those fingers around. All the way around. Work through that shoulder mobility. Inhale up. Exhale around. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale around. Now this time we're going to go up and hold for 5. So once your hand gets to the ceiling, here we go. 5, squeeze those inner thighs. 4, push the floor away. 3, 2, 1. Bring the hand down. Uncross the leg. I'm going to turn sideways, whichever way you are on your mat. Float and meet me in child's pose, hips towards heels. Take a moment here. Sometimes our hips will not get to our heels. Some of us may feel more comfortable just with a little part way back, or we may be more comfortable in what we call puppy pose, leaning ourselves forward while our hips are stacked over our knees still. So I need you to find the variation that works for you, and then reach your arms out nice and long in Tadasana, extended child's pose. Then inhale forward to kneeling plank, chest over thumbs. Exhale, float back to child's pose. Inhale forward, kneeling plank, chest over thumbs. Exhale, half crocodile. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hinge back. Little yogi push-ups right now. Let's do 3 more. Forward to plank, lower crocodile. Lift up to kneeling plank, hinge back. 2 more times. Breath with movement. Inhale forward. Exhale, half drop. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge back. 1 more time. Inhale forward. Exhale, half drop. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hinge back. Just take a moment here. Inhale deep. Feel like your back is rising to the sky. Meet me in down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. And some of us will hold the dog with our knees bent. Some of us will have straight legs. And others will pedal the heels. What is it that your body needs today as you work through the practice? Do you need a little deeper stretch into the Achilles and calves? So this would be the stretch for you. Do you need to bring ease to the hamstrings by bending the knees? Or do you just want to hold? But wherever you're at, grip the mat like you have suction cups for fingers and press your ribs back towards your thighs. If you're up high on those tiptoes, let your heels relax, really feeling the back of the legs lengthen. Take a moment here and shake your head yes and no. We want to keep our head and neck relaxed. Then start to walk your feet forward, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. And some of us, we have to bend our knees if we want our hands to touch the ground, and that's okay. Others, we use our blocks. We have 3 levels: vertical, horizontal, or flat. Others, we use our legs. We brace our hands on our shins or on our thighs, and some we just hang like a rag doll. Draw the low belly up and in. Gaze to the knees or upper thighs so the head hangs like a chandelier. Inhale, round your back, and let's all walk our hands up our thighs. Take a slow rise up. Roll the shoulders back and down, and lift the gaze. So while you're standing tall, some of us tend to pull our chin forward because we're used to being over a computer. So let's try and make sure that our ears are stacked over our shoulders are over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles, and standing nice and tall. I want you to rock to the left, rock to the right, rock to the left, rock to the right, and then come back to center and hold. Find your balance right in the center of those feet. So we're not heavy to one side or the other. All right. Coming into the fastest part of this class will be our sun salutations. It doesn't mean we're quickening the breath to move faster. It just means we're linking these poses, one breath, one move. So let's bring the hands up to the heart. We're going to do a more traditional, old school style sun salutation. So let's inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins, flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, kneeling lunge, send your right knee back. Shine that heart forward. Exhale into kneeling plank. Release that left foot back, chest over thumbs. Float back to child's pose, hips towards heels. So we're going to set up for our 8-point press here. Inhale forward to kneeling plank, turn the toes under. So we have our hands, knees, and toes. That's 6 points already touching. To come into this, it looks like crocodile. Bend the elbows into the ribs. Keep your bottom up in the air. Hips stay up as your chest and chin comes down to the mat. As we make our way into cobra, unlock the toes. Scoop your heart through so the hips come down. Elbows stay bent. Cobra pose. Exhale, press back to child's pose. Inhale, float the right foot forward to kneeling lunge. Now your foot may come forward, but it doesn't get far. Pick it up and move it towards the hand, and then shift your weight to shine your heart forward. Look straight ahead. Exhale, step into fold. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, hands into heart. Good. Inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten that back, open the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, send the left knee back for kneeling lunge, and then look forward, shine that heart forward. Release into kneeling plank. Chest over thumbs. Float back to child's pose, hips towards heels. Set up for 8-point press, or some of you are going to do half crocodile. So inhale forward to kneeling plank, turn the toes under. Exhale, chest and chin to the mat. It is a feather touch with your chin. Inhale, scoop to cobra, hips down, elbows bent. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale, send that left foot forward to kneeling lunge. Look forward, stretch that heart away from your tailbone. And then step into fold. Inhale, rise up to the sky. Exhale, hands come into heart. So that's our kneeling version for right and left. And I want you to stay with it if that's where you feel the most power. Otherwise, inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, then fold. Send your right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Pull the heart forward. Pull that left hip in and back. Step into plank or kneeling. Chest over thumbs. Look forward of those fingertips. Not with the chin, with your eye gaze. Come into down dog or child's pose. Let's all meet in kneeling plank. 8-point press. Exhale down to that mat with the chest and chin. Inhale, scoop up dog or cobra. Exhale, hinge back down dog or child's pose. Let's float the right foot forward to lunge or kneeling. Look forward, shine the heart forward. You may be up on your fingertips so you can pull that heart forward. Step into fold. Rise up to the sun. Hands into heart. Rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Breath with movement. Halfway lift. Then fold. Send the left foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Look forward, shine that heart. Step to plank or kneeling. Chest over thumbs. Come into down dog or child's pose. Set up for 8-point press. First float forward into kneeling plank and then release down, chest, chin, hands, knees, toes. Scoop up dog or cobra. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Draw that left foot forward to lunge or kneeling. Shine that heart forward. Step into fold. Rise up to the sun. Hands come into heart. We're going to do this one more time just like this, and then our next flow we'll add in some variations. Reach to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift and fold. Send the right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Left foot back to plank or kneeling. Float into down dog or child's pose. Draw forward to kneeling plank and then down to 8-point press. Scoop up to the sun, up dog or cobra. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Float your right foot forward to lunge or kneeling. Look forward, lengthen the body. Step into fold. Rise up to the sun. Hands into heart. Again, rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift and fold. Send the left foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Look forward, lengthen. Step to plank or kneeling. Come into down dog or child's pose. Float forward into kneeling plank and then down to 8-point press. Scoop up dog or cobra. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Left foot floats forward to lunge or kneeling. Lengthen that body. Step into fold. Rise up to the sun. Hands into the heart. All right, let's take a variation to this and add some twisting. So inhale, rise. Exhale, fold to the earth. Instead of halfway lift, keep your left hand on the mat and pull the right arm up to the sky for a twist. Release the hand to the earth. Bend the knees and step the right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Once you're there, peel the left arm to the sky to twist. Release, step into plank or kneeling. So if you're in kneeling, keep your left leg lifted. If you're in full, let's roll to the right heel, open up, Vinyasa, side plank. Come back into plank and meet me in down dog or child's pose. Forward to kneeling plank, lower to 8-point press. Scoop up dog or cobra, pause, look over the right shoulder. Come back into down dog or child's pose. Hold. If you're in down dog, take your right hand over to the left and twist the dog. If you're in child's pose, stay where you're at. As you release, step forward with the right foot to lunge or kneeling. Now peel your right arm up to the sky. Exhale, step into fold. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do that one more time for the left. Here we go. Rise to the sun. Fold to the earth. Instead of halfway lift, you can peel the left arm to the sky. As you release, send the left foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Peel the right hand to the sun. Twist. Release into plank or kneeling and either stay here. If you're in kneeling, kick your left foot out or roll onto the left and open the right arm. Come back to plank and float into down dog or child's pose. Draw forward to kneeling plank, lower 8-point press, scoop up dog or cobra, hold, look over the left shoulder. Come back into down dog or child's pose. Remember, if you're in child's pose, stay. For down dog, folks, take your left hand to the right leg and twist the dog. Release and step the left foot forward to lunge or kneeling. Bring that left arm up to the sky. Release into Uttanasana, forward fold. Rise up to the sun. Hands to heart. Take a nice big inhale. And let it out. Sometimes this just effort of moving one breath, one move can make us feel very challenged. Do not give up. It's just something to work through, building in strength, balance, and flexibility. As we stand nice and tall, I want you to bring your hands to your hips. With your hands on your hips, draw the left knee up. Either stay here or interlace your fingers, take them to your shin, and draw the left leg up a little higher. Relax your shoulders, lift your heart, lengthen. As we make our way into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, send that left foot back, open hips and shoulders. So some of us will be on this balance beam where our heel to arch is aligned and our hips and our shoulders are stacked. Others, we have this sassy hip and being on this balance beam doesn't work. So if we stagger our feet and we release the hip down, that may bring more ease for you, especially if you're tight or you have to shorten your stance. But wherever you're at, your feet are rooting you into the earth. The arms are reaching long and strong. I want you to lift your right heel as your arms reach to the sky. Inhale, heel lift. Exhale, it comes down. So circle the arms. Up when the heel goes up, out when the heel goes down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Take this 2 more times. Hold here and lift your heel, bend a little deeper. Hold 5, 4, and if your leg is shaking, 3, 2, 1, it's okay. Put the heel down, straighten the leg, reach into Trikonasana, triangle, stretch, and then release. Imagine you're between 2 panes of glass. So we lengthen the body and stay stacked over that thigh. Floating into reverse warrior, bend the knee and stretch away. Coming into reverse triangle, straighten the leg. And then make your way into side angle, Parasvakonasana. Stretch away from that left heel. Spin the right side of your heart open to the sky. So let's add this one breath, one move. Move into triangle. Float into reverse warrior. Straighten into reverse triangle. Float into side angle. Let's do that 3 more times. Straighten the leg into Trikonasana. Float back to reverse warrior. Stay back here as you straighten the leg for reverse triangle. And then float into side angle, bending that knee. 2 more times. Straighten to Trikonasana. Bend and stretch away into reverse warrior. Coming into reverse triangle and floating into side angle. 1 more time, breath with movement. Straighten the leg for triangle. Reverse warrior. Reverse triangle. Side angle. Nice. Windmill down into that low lunge. Heel toe the right foot over so you are on railroad tracks or your feet are hip width apart. We're going to take a twisting lunge. So keep your left hand under the shoulder, hand is flat, tented, or feel free to use a block. Bring your right arm up to the sky. Those of you that want to take this a little deeper, if your hand is flat, or if you're on the tips of your fingers, let's all come to our peace sign fingers. We're not lifting our bottom, we're staying low. For some of you, you're going to take your hand onto the thigh while you hold the twist. Release the hands to the earth, step into plank. Open your feet up a little bit wider than hip width apart. If you're on your knees in kneeling plank, I just want you to lift and lower your knees. For the rest of you, roll your heels to the right without moving your shoulders, just the rotation. Come back to center, equal pressure into both hands. Roll heels to the left. Come back to center, to the right, and center, to the left, and center. Now let's move into side plank. Roll the heels, feet are staggered. Lift the left arm up. Pull that hip away from the earth. If you'd like, bring your left foot into tree pose while you're in side plank. Now, release the left foot in front, and as you come into plank, hover your right leg. Then lift into three-legged. Inhale forward, bring the knee to the nose. Rise back up. 2 more times. Grip the mat with your fingertips. 1 more time. Coming into Funky Anjaneyasana. Funky Anjaneyasana is knee forward. Release your shin and knee between your hands. Unlock the back toes. We're trying to sit heavy into this right heel as we place our fingertips forward and lift up like we're in up dog. Now, some of you are going to stay right here without lifting your hips higher. Some of you will take your hand onto your thigh. Notice I didn't pop up, I'm staying heavy. If you popped up, squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Now stay here or interlace the fingers behind the head and lean back. Elbows pressing open. Lift your heart. Try not to sink into your low back. Pull your belly in tight. Release the hands to the earth and come back into three-legged dog. Turn your left foot under, lift the knee, and then pull yourself back up to three-legged. Flex the foot. Roll the hip open. Then bend the knee like you're going to kick your left glute. Right shoulder aims to your heel. Stay here or flip the dog. Lifting up or arching over. Come back around into that hip opener. Straighten the leg. Close the hip. Release your foot. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, lower crocodile. Inhale, scoop up dog. Exhale, hinge back down dog. Walk or hop yourself into a squat. From here, I want you to either rise up into toe balance, thighs parallel to the earth, or come in to Bakasana, crow pose. If you are in crow, I invite you to drop your head down, come into tripod. Those of you that are in toe balance, come on into child's pose. If you're in tripod and want to lift into headstand, I invite you to go there. If you are not, go into child's pose because we'll all meet there in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Headstand, folks, come on back down. And make your way in to child's pose. Release, let's all release our hands outside our feet and just hang out here. If you watch that and you're like, yeah, no way am I going to do that, headstand, crow into headstand, it wasn't to say you're not going to do it, but some of us are ready for that. And so we're all at different levels in our practice, so doing what feels best for you. Okay. Slowly rise up into this modified hero. Either stay here in modified or kick your heels wider than your hips. Before you take your pose, I like to grab my calves with my thumbs, spin them out, and release into my hero's pose. So I move my calf muscles out of the way. We are not in frog legs. The top of your feet are pressing down. They are not turned out to the side. And then we sit tall, belly drawn in, shoulders relaxed down. 2 more deep breaths here. Then I want you to counter this with down dog. So when you're ready to come into down dog, lift up and pedal those heels up. If you know you need your blocks for the flow, take your blocks to the other side of the mat. If you do not need your blocks, then you don't have to do that. Walk your hands back to your feet, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. Then inhale, rise up, and turn around. We stand nice and tall, coming into Tadasana. Then we bring our hands to our hips and anchor into that left foot, standing balance. Now you can leave your knee right in line with your hip, or you can interlace your fingers, reach for the shin, and pull the leg higher. Shoulders down, chest is lifted. Lengthen this left leg like it is a flagpole, and you're pulling all the energy up into that hip. Now let's meet in warrior 2, sending that right foot back, opening hips and shoulders. It is your body. Can you feel your hips? Did they go sassy? Adjust them. Look at your feet. Are they staggered? Or do you need to have them in this heel to arch alignment? It is up to you. Arms reach out. The heel raise is optional, right? So we lift the heel, arms come up, and circle around. Lift and release. 4 more. Last 2 right here. Up. Last 1. Hold the arms out long and then lift the heel for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heel down, straighten the leg, triangle pose. Big reach, long stretch away from the tailbone. Again, we're between 2 panes of glass. Squeeze your inner thighs like you have a beach ball. Float into reverse warrior. Bend the knee and stretch away from that left thigh. Notice, is your knee rolling in? If you're collapsing in, push the knee open to the 2nd and 3rd toe. Now from here, straighten the leg for reverse triangle. Squeeze the inner thighs. Try not to have that sassy hip. From reverse, they were neutral. Same thing for reverse triangle. Then meet in side angle. Tipping into the knee, stretching away from the right foot. Take the left side of your heart and spin it to the sky. Now let's take a little vinyasa. Move into triangle. Reverse warrior. Adjust that hip back down. Straighten the leg for reverse triangle. Float into side angle. Triangle pose. Trikonasana. Reverse warrior. Reverse triangle. Side angle, Konasana. 2 more times. Triangle. Reverse warrior. Your feet are grounding you to the earth. Straighten the leg, reverse triangle. Float into side angle. Don't hold your breath. Hold the poses. Triangle. Reverse warrior. Straighten the leg, reverse triangle. Tip into side angle. Yeah. Windmill down to that low lunge, but you gotta adjust your feet. This is your stability. Opening those feet up, hip width apart. Then place your hand underneath your shoulder and twisting lunge. Pull your left hip back, right hip forward. Stay here. Hug this left knee in. Come onto the peace sign fingers. Stay here or hand to the thigh. Use your legs to power you through this. Release into plank. Open your feet up wider than hip width. Now you can be on your knees, lifting and lowering your knees as you do your strength building, or roll the heels to the left. Shoulders and chest aim to the mat. Come back to center. Roll the heels to the right. Grip the mat. Heels to the left. Center. Heels to the right. Now for Vinyasa, side plank. Roll heels to the left. Open up with that right hand. Pull your hip away. Stay here, feet staggered, or come into tree. Lift a little higher with those hips. Release your left foot forward. As you come into plank, hover the right leg. Your left foot was released forward, right leg is hovering, sorry. Float into three-legged dog. A little power vinyasa here. Forward, knee to nose, prepping those hips. Rise back up. Forward, knee to nose. Rise up. One more time. Forward, knee to nose. Now move into that funky version of Anjaneyasana. Shin down. Stay here. Unlock toes. You can reach your fingertips forward and lift up like you're in up dog. You can send your hands onto your thigh. So really arching a little bit more. Belly pulls in, heart pulls up. Or some of you will lift up, interlace fingers behind the head, and lean back just a little bit. Release the hands to the earth. Turn the back toes under to lift the knee. Transition into three-legged dog. Pull up, lift the left leg up. Flex the foot, open your hip. Stay here. Notice what the left shoulder is doing. Turn it to the right leg. Then bend your knee like you're kicking your right glute. Stay here or flip the dog. Opening the chest up, reaching open. Come back into that hip opener. Straighten the leg. Turn the hip to the earth. Release the foot down into down dog. Either stay in dog or power vinyasa. Floor to plank or kneeling, lower crocodile or hat. Lift up dog or cobra. Hinge back, down dog. Take a moment here. Shake the head yes. And no. Walk or hop your feet to your hands. Come into a squat. From this squat, you have an opportunity to take things a little differently. You're either going to rise up into toe balance and then do a little twist to the left. Oh, this is your right. Come back to center. Do a twist to the left. And you're going to hold that for 5 breaths, or you're going to stay here. Otherwise, what I want you to do is bring your hands forward. Twisting crow or crow. Twist your knees to the right. Your right elbow and tricep is going to push to the outside of that knee. We're going to tip forward, lift the feet, lift the hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down. Pivot your knees to the other side. Now, some of us can let our hip and our glute go onto our elbows, and that can give you more assist. Eventually, that elbow is not going to support your hip. So again, we tuck our tricep against that outer knee. We tip forward, lift the feet, lift the hips. That's what gives you the twist. You gotta lift your hips. I'm counting. Come on down and come back to center. From here, what I want you to do is release and come into child's pose again, hands outside. And just open and close those fingers like you're flicking water off your hands. Slowly rise yourself up. And I want you to turn and lay on your back. I'm turning this way just because that's what I want to do. You can face either way on your mat, and I want you to grab your blocks and just have them close by. Let's lay back for some bridge work first. Kind of give the upper body a chance to relax. We're not pushing into our wrists or anything for right now. So we lay back. We bring our feet close enough so our middle fingers can graze our heels. And then we do a little walk of our shoulder blades under the body. And some of you are like, I already know how to get there, and you're already in bridge, that's fine. But for the rest of you, set up the pose,
lift your hips. As you lift your hips, pull your knees towards your toes and squeeze those inner thighs. Notice your chin, it should be parallel to the mat, not pulling to the sun. So with that, can you lift your hips a little higher, and maybe you walk your shoulder blades under your body a little bit more. While you're here, squeeze your inner thighs, lift your heels and lower. Heels lift and lower. Lift and lower. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, up and hold. For 5, lift higher, squeeze the inner thighs. And last one, lower the heels. If you tucked your shoulder blades, walk them out and lower those hips back down. Take a moment to open your feet up wider than hip width and windshield wiper those knees. I want you to do this first. Some of us, if we added any strain to the back, just swipe the knees side to side and then start to lift the shins towards the chest for a nice big hug. If you do not want to rock yourself up, turn to one side to come up, but let's meet in Navasana prep, boat prep. We rock ourselves up, we lift our shins. So we're tipping back slightly, but we're not rounding into our back. We're lifting our heart to the sun. And I want you to hold here and reach to your heels. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down for a moment, pause. Either you're going to take this again or you're going to do half boat. So as we come up, Ardha Navasana, press your heels out, tip back and reach. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come in and release. Last round is Navasana, full boat pose or whichever variation you want to take. So let's set up first. Tip back, hold the hamstrings, lift the shins. Either you're going to press your heels up and pull your heart up a little higher, you're going to go out, or you're going to stay here. Ready? Where do you want to take it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down and lift up nice and tall. Take a little twist, and then over to the other side. And back to center. And if you thought that was the end, it's not, because we haven't done elephant trunk pose. I can't shortchange you on that. So straighten your legs out, bring the blocks outside your hips. And what I want you to do first is those push-ups. Maybe you need to use fists for wrist, but you've got to tuck your thumbs in. We're not pushing with our thumbs. We want our thumbs to stay where they're supposed to be on our hand and not dislocate to somewhere else. So either fists for wrist or you're gripping, right? We're not pressing flat, we're gripping. Here we go. Push and lift your bottom off the mat. Lift and lower, lift and lower. If you don't have blocks, same thing. Lift and lower, lift and lower. All right, for some of you, you'll keep practicing that. For others, we're going to work that flexibility piece where we're going to bend the knee, hold the foot, hold behind the knee, rock and roll. And you may be like, yeah, I already know how to do this pose, so you're probably holding it. That's fine. Hold it for 5 deep breaths. Then what I want you to do is pull the foot back. And as you pull that foot back, can you get the knee behind the shoulder? And if not, then maybe you still need to practice here. Whatever works for you, I need you to stay doing. But the rest of you that can get your knee behind your shoulder, can you take the arm under the leg and hold that foot up? And then we're going to lift the right leg, or whichever leg this is, lift the opposite. Here we go, lift, 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 lift. We did that heel raise and bridge pose to fire up the hamstrings, and now we're firing up the quad strength. Lift, lift. Now the push-up. Ready? Push up, push up, push up. Let's alternate. Leg lift, butt lift. Leg lift, butt lift. 2 more. Leg, bottom, leg, bottom. If you're like, I cannot do this anymore, that's fine. The rest of you, can you lift and hold? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down and release it. Ooh, right? Shake those hands out. We don't get better and stronger by doing nothing. That effort where we push our selves to that point where we're like, I don't think I can hold this any longer.
and then you do. That's when the change happens, when you are uncomfortable. Now change legs. We don't have to go through all the push-up stuff, that was equal balance, but we do have to do the stretch. So hold the foot, rock and roll. Stay here if you need to stay here. If you can get the foot behind the knee, stay here. If not, can you wrap your arm over the arm under the leg? You gotta be able to hold that foot up. I want you to pull your belly button like it's going underneath your rib cage. Now hold here and just lift this leg. Lift, 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 lift. Now can you hold here, and if you need more time to rest, rest. Can you lift your butt in those push-ups? Lift, 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 lift. And if you're thinking, Tiffany, my leg is sliding down my arm, what do I do? You gotta hug your knee to your shoulder and your shoulder to your knee. But that doesn't always work and it still slides. Can you lift and rock and roll? Leg, bottom, leg, bottom. Two more. Leg, bottom, leg, bottom. Now, can we hold for a quick count of 5? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done. Come on down. Move those blocks out of the way. Shake out those hands. Let's take a moment to stretch out those wrists. So we can stretch the fingers back. Stretch the fingers back. Turn the fingers up, stretch back. Now if you're chanting ow, ow, ow when you do this, don't go so far. Let your palms straight down, push the back of your hand towards you. And other side. And release. Let's do some stretches seated, and then we'll come into some reclining stretches. Go ahead and take your left leg out to the side. First round, I want you to leave your foot tucked in, side stretch. Reach up and over. Keep your right sit bone pulling to the floor. Even take your left hand to that thigh and stretch away. Come back up nice and tall. Now, some of you are not going to do this leg variation with the grip. Some of you are going to stay here. You're either going to tip forward or you're going to come inside the leg and you're going to stretch here. But I need to turn around for some of you to see what's happening to the legs. So if you already want to go into a stretch, go ahead. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're coming into that half hero pose. You're going to tip forward. Take your opposite hand, the leg that's out long, and grip that foot, ankle. Sit forward of that arm and then side stretch. And if you're thinking, my body doesn't do that, then remember I had you come here or even center. So what works for you to take this stretch? Slowly release, and I want you to take your right hand behind your right foot. Now angle that knee in, and we're going to lift our hips off the earth. Lift up, use this shoulder, keep it high to rest your head on. Ready? Lift up and stretch back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, back down. We have 2 legs, so tuck that left foot in, send the right leg out. First, it's a side stretch. So as you tip over to the right side, you can push your right hand into the left thigh and just stretch side. Inhale, come up. Now remember, some of you are going to come forward, some of you are going to come forward, but it doesn't mean we're tipping our bottom off the floor. Those of you, though, that are taking that foot into half hero, you will rock forward. Take the opposite hand or the leg that's out long to that ankle. Drop forward of that, so I'm sitting forward of my arm, and then I'm stretching over. If you need a reverse view, try to take your shoulder inside the thigh and spin. Slowly rise up. Remember, we're taking our hand behind the foot. I'll turn back around.
So we take our hand behind the foot, we move our knee in just a little bit so it's not open wide, and then our shoulder is high to rest our head on. Ready? Lift those hips up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, back down. Yeah. Now as you release, turn in either direction on your mat. If you have a belt, I want you to use your belt to bring a little more ease into the stretching pattern. If you don't have a belt, you're going to hold the hamstring or the calf. So let's take our right leg, take the ball of the foot to the belt, and lay back. Press your heel to the sky. But if you have a belt, your elbows will come down. If you have a towel, you can use the towel, but most likely it's a shorter towel, so your hands may be up here. Just try and pull your shoulders to the floor. If not, elbows down, chest is open. And then extend the leg. Nice big stretch here. Pull your belly button to the floor. This isn't where we just melt and do nothing. We hold for the stretch. One more deep breath. Now take the belt into the left hand. Take your right arm out to the side. As you do this, roll your right foot outside your hip. We're not completely there. We want this IT band stretch. Push your right hip away from your ribs, and some of you may get that IT band stretch even more. We have not rolled at all off of our hips. Now, those of you that want to stay here, stay here. The rest of you that want the spinal twist, roll onto the left hip as your right shoulder glues to the floor. Again, watch if your hip is rolling up. Push your hip down. Turn and look to that right hand. Inhale, come back to center. Open the belt, take your left foot onto the belt, right foot down. Start with your right knee bent. Maybe your left knee is bent too. Elbows down. A little tension in this hamstring. It's going to help you get that flexibility stretch. But if we're just hanging out here like I don't feel anything, then make yourself feel something. That little tug at the back of the leg. Either keep your right knee bent or take it out straight. Chest is open, elbows are down. Now let's move the belt to the right hand, left arm out, and just IT band. Pull your left hip down, take your big toe outside your shoulder, feel that stretch in the outside of the leg. And I invite you to stay here or roll onto that right hip for spinal twist. And if you want, turn and look to the left hand. Is your hip pulling away from your ribs? Find that power. Inhale, come back to center. Release the belt, hug the legs into your body. Give a little hug, rock across your back. And then release your feet wide, your knees come in. Place one hand on your stomach, one hand on your heart. Go back to that visualization of a ball of light at your tailbone. We're going to go back to some breath work right here. When you inhale, think of that ball of light traveling all the way up to the top of your head. And when it comes back down, think of it going back to your tailbone. But with your hand on your stomach and your hand at your heart, I want you to feel like that ball of light is releasing anything stuck in the abs, anything stuck in the heart, as well as shoulders, mind. So think of these parts on our bodies, these chakra wheels, and what we may need to release from those chakras. So inhale, exhale. What color is that ball of light? Maybe it changes colors. It's like a rainbow. Maybe there's a certain color that makes you think of calm, and that's what you need at this time. Maybe you need energy. Whatever it is, take that ball of light and imagine it sending that energy. It shines so bright into each cell of the body. Two more times. You can keep this deep breath with the ball of light moving up your spine as you release the arms. And slowly, if you'd like, release the legs into your final pose of Shavasana. This final moment of melting into the earth, of surrendering the body to stillness, surrendering the mind to ease and peace. Bring yourself to that place that brings you total relaxation. What sounds, what smells, what do you remember the body feeling in those moments? And recreate it here on the mat. You're welcome to continue to stay here in relaxation. If you'd like to wiggle those fingers and toes to bring movement into the body, I invite you to stretch long through that reawakening stretch. And then slowly bring one leg into the body at a time and give yourself a hug. Let this hug be of love and gratitude. Be grateful for this amazing body you have and all that it can do. When you're ready, gently roll the body to one side. Use that bottom arm like a pillow. And as you relax here, just for a moment, tell yourself, when things get hard or things are hard, I know I'm going to make it. Gently press into your hands to rise up into an easy seated pose. And if you'd like, bring the hands to the heart. Let's take that sound of Om. The light in me honors and respects the light in you. Namaste.